I think, we don't start.
The link below, do you see it? Why are you watching me still? You haven't clicked the link yet. Click it. Click it. Click the link right now.
I appreciate you for even staying patient in this whole process.
It is what it is. It's beneficial to me too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because which is perfect, because my goal for this year or coming into next year is really to get as much content as I possibly can too. Mm-hmm. So this is going to help in regards to adding more content. You know what I'm saying? To what I'm doing, and I can probably chop it up and dice it up and do some, quick little emails or just excerpts from it to kind of promote my business too. So So yeah, man. I mean, this is
it works.
But yeah, exactly. Plus, I don't mind, man. I mean, just sometimes mistakes happen, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
So we have to be patient with each other because we're trying to build our brands.
Yeah.
So we're on the same mission.
Yeah.
We're on the same mission. So and no worries.
How do you look at because Credit Repair Florida, that's your business. That's your baby.
Correct.
How do you look at or how did you deal with overcoming issues, adversities, problems? Or do you consider them problems in the business world? Your model. I know some business owners, they're like, no problems, only solutions.
Well, I call them opportunities.
Right? Where does that come from?
Well, it's really from the corporate world, and that was a saying that at the it's one of the last jobs that I had. We always called them. Well, just to put it in perspective, my background is I was a project manager for a supply chain, right? So my job was really to go and find processes that employees were doing on the floor, and really to refine them and make them more productive, which in turn helps the company bottom line. You got more productive employees, and then it takes less manpower to perform a job. So I constantly looked for problems, which we call them opportunities.
Wow. Because
every problem was an opportunity to improve that process. So when it comes to challenges like that, I adopted that term, going into business. There's really no problems, there's really opportunities, just to improve and make whatever you're doing, just that much better. So, and if you're not facing problems, challenges, opportunities, you're really not growing. Yeah. So, I welcome them, and I look for them. And exactly. I'm looking for challenges and opportunities, because I know that's how you improve and you get better.
That's how you grow.
Absolutely.
I know when we first started to sit down, we were doing lives.
Okay.
We weren't pre-recording, and with lives, oh my gosh, we ran into so many issues.
Really?
And this is and it was an every week thing.
Yeah. Okay.
And it got discouraging at times. And my brother, he's a business owner, and he was just well, you got to figure it out. There's only one way, and that's through.
Right.
So, because you're not going to stop.
Right, exactly.
You're not going to do that. He was so you guys got to figure it out. And I've never been, up until that point, I wasn't challenged in that way before.
Okay.
I've ran across challenges, but nothing like that.
Right, absolutely.
You know, and so it kind of forced me to just figure it out.
Yeah.
And most of the time, it's all internal.
Once
you quiet that internal voice,
right? No, you're right. Exactly.
You think your way out of it.
Exactly. That's something that I always instill that in my son. Whenever we have problems, or he's having some issues in school or whatever case, and stuff at home, and I tell him, I was like, you have to solve this.
Yeah.
Nobody gonna step in and save you.
Nope.
Right? You got to fix this. What are you gonna do?
You gotta fix it.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And there's no shortcuts. What are you gonna do? And so, but yeah, that's especially being in business. When you're in business, you're pretty much on an island. You have to be hyper resourceful. You know what I mean? Everything around you got to use all the stuff, and it's usually, you usually have the tools that help you solve the problem.
Yeah.
You just have to, you have to use them. You have to just use whatever you can to get over that hurdle.
Is it like, I found that I've kind of grown up just like, because I grew up kind of like, we didn't have a lot, so I kind of grew up broke, but like, and it forced me to, growing up, like it was just my norm to not have enough. So like you kind of just built like this reality around always having to survive. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, yeah.
So like I don't know what your growing up experience was like, but like translating that into like where you are now, like, do you stay in that mentality? Being that you may have more at your at your disposal now, so it's like, hey, you don't have to do it that way. You can go out, get what you need to make it work.
Right.
Or like, how does that translate for
Yeah,
you?
I know, man. I know exactly, where you're coming from with that, because I mean that's the story of probably most of the people that I know. Right. Of their upbringing, and have a lot. Really had to kind of make do on a lot of stuff, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think it kind of, I guess you really kind of have that. You have to find a balance of being a minimalist, right? Because I can have that mentality sometimes versus someone with, but you have to you have to expand your horizons, as well, right? But you don't want to be you don't want to be delusional. So, where do you find that balance? Yeah. And so, I think for me, it's almost like when you're looking at like a stock market graph or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like it goes up and down. Yep. But as long as it at the end of the a certain time frame, or year long, as long as you up, you're doing, you know what I mean? Yeah. So there's sometimes when I'm being a little too much of a minimalist and thinking too small, right? Yeah. And then sometimes I'm kind of, way out in left field, so I have to come back down to reality. So, so I mean, I know exactly what you're saying. I experienced that a lot, and I grew up with not having a lot of means, and sometimes, I'm, kind of holding things too much close to the chest, and being a minimalist, but at the same time, I mean, I have like set goals that are lofty. Yeah. And that's the thing, so, and you don't want to sell yourself too short, but like I said, you don't want to be delusional either, so.
Nah, you don't want to do that.
Right, for sure.
I think it's always, in anything that you do, life, and I want to get on credit repair too of Florida. Talk a little bit about your business. Sure. But like, I wanted to stay in that vein because I feel like sometimes what people can do, and I struggle with it too, starting to sit down and just my personal ventures, like you don't go do it unless you have everything. You're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go take this step, or I'm gonna open this, or I'm gonna continue with this when I get this. It's just like, well, you're not always gonna have that, especially starting out. You're gonna have nothing. Right, absolutely. You're kind of gonna have to. The example I use a lot, and my brother used me, is like jump off the cliff and build the plane on the way down. Right. You kind of have to, like, entrepreneurs are risk takers. Business owners, that's extreme. Exactly. They're extreme risk takers.
No doubt, yeah.
Because you have to be. It doesn't work any other way, and I think we try to minimize our risk so much that we're just not taking that chance.
Yeah, you're right, and I think for me, every time that maybe not, I might be overstating it a little bit, but the majority of the time that I've taken a risk, you know, it's paid off for me.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the majority of the time, and that's the thing, when you know, you're an entrepreneur, like you said, you really, it's like you really, you're driven by faith. You know, you're stepping out on faith.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you starting out where I did with, you know, with nothing but a laptop and an idea,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it's like you really, you know, you just constantly stepping out on faith, and you know, you're constantly taking risks. You know, I mean, of course, you want them to be calculated risks, educated risks.
Right.
But then there's a saying that, you know, but you can't always look for perfection, right? Because you know, because sometimes perfect doesn't get done. So you know what I mean? So right, you know, so yeah, but at the same time, you want to, you know, you want to be as calculated as possible but then at some point you just have to jump. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like you ever bungee jump?
No, but I want to.
All right.
Yeah.
It's like you know, when you bungee jumping, you take you think it through. And then you take your climb up to the top.
Yeah.
You know, you get all your safety measures.
Right.
But you still got to jump. Right? And that's, you know, and at the end of the day, all you have is, you know, now is faith. That rope, you know, that bungee cord is going to do, you know, what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, that's like being an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
You get all of the things, your thoughts, and your plans, and then your resources, and then, you know, now it's time to jump off that, you know, out that plane, or either jump off that, you know, ledge or whatever, and then you just gotta, you know, and just understand that you prepared yourself as much as you possibly can. And, you know, now's the time to jump. So
and then you figure it out as you're on your way down.
For sure, yeah.
You figure it out,
Right.
but oh, this isn't gonna work. I need to add this.
Yeah.
Oh, this, I don't need this.
Right.
And then you find a way to kind of like minimalize the tools and still maximize your effectiveness.
No
Because I
doubt.
think sometimes we could be too prepared.
Exactly.
I think you can over prepare.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And you end up bringing in a bunch of stuff that you don't even need.
That you don't need. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it clutters the process.
Yeah.
So I guess explain a little bit about Credit Repair of Florida, the birthing of it, and what it is. Because the way that you described it to me on numerous occasions, I think it's more of class educational. I forget the word. The word escapes me is what I'm trying to say. But like, you're extremely informative about your process.
Right.
Your
Yeah.
customers.
I think but education side of it. So I mean, I'll start with how it came about.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I'll get into some other stuff. I'm sure, you know, if I go off on a tangent and just bring me back. But yeah, so with my company, the way that I started it is, well, first of all, you know, for one thing, there was a point in time which my credit had got really jacked up.
Yeah.
I really was in some tough financial situations, and so I had to kind of dig myself out of it. And so, you know, back in, I guess, like around 2009, when this whole real estate thing crashed or whatever, made some poor decisions, and ended up, you know, in a bankruptcy, house foreclosed on, all of that good business. So my credit was pretty much traumatized at that point. And then, you know, basically, you know, fast forward, like around 6 years later, I'm you know, working at a corporation, and I'm looking to really need to make some extra money, because considering what my financial situation, the way it left me, now I needed, it wasn't enough just having the, you know, the one paycheck coming in. So I needed to even have some extra money. So I started looking into some, you know, starting a business, side hustle, whatever the case may be, to make some extra money. And then I started doing a lot of research on what I could get into that would not interfere much with my career at the time. And as I was, going through my research, I came across like credit repair business companies, whatever, and that's when it hit me. Like, wow, this is something that I can absolutely relate to. And not only that, I know there has to be, a lot of people out there that, like me, who's experienced some stuff and would need some help. And at that point, I started doing a lot of digging and research when it comes to credit and really kind of going down the rabbit hole. And I became very obsessed, especially when I found out and realized how the credit bureaus operate, and a lot of the mystique about credit started to, get revealed.
Yeah.
And what really pulled me into it is how much the general public really didn't know and understand about credit.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And why was that? I mean, it's such an important part of our lives. Why is this information? Why is this stuff not being taught in school? Why can't I go and get a degree in it? Why is this information so hidden?
Yeah.
And so then that's when I kind of realized, well, it has to be by design, because at the end of the day, when you think about it, flawed credit is more profitable than perfect credit.
Let me ask you a question, because you said it's more hidden. Was it hidden as in it was hard for you to even find it yourself, or was it what were you finding when you were?
Right, absolutely. I mean, it was. There's not one centralized source that you can go to and find out all about credit, and how the credit bureaus operate and what affects the credit and all that type of stuff. So there's no one centralized source. So you really have to pull a lot of information together to find this stuff out. And you have to really listen to a lot of people who are in the industries. And then it, once I just did that, that's when it all started coming together, right? When I was listening to people from the, the regulatory agencies, people from the credit bureaus, people who own credit repair companies, people from banks. Wow. So, all of this information, I had to pull it all together and make sense of it all. Oh. Right. So once I did that, then that's when all of this stuff really just the light went off. Yeah. But not only that, then I started realizing how little we actually knew about all of this stuff.
Wow.
And so upon doing that, that's when that's when the fire was lit, and thus came the passion for this stuff, right? Because I had dabbled in entrepreneurship and businesses before, but never with this type of passion behind it that was driving it. And once that kind of took place, and then I started just like you said, I started really kind of doing my due diligence, building up my business infrastructure, and then and then I think I told you the story before. So I started helping some folks and friends and family, and was successful at it. And then so I decided that I'm going to do a little bit of marketing, and I put an ad in one of those little coupon books that you find in the convenience stores. You go to little free coupon books. So I bought an ad in that. And I said to myself, if I can get one random client, that's all I need. I can get 1 million of them. If I can get one random client to sign up for my services, then I know I have a business. And so, I purchased the ad, and then I was at work one day, maybe about 2 weeks later, my phone business, line rang. Yeah. And it was somebody, interested in working on his credit, and And so made an appointment, met the gentleman later that afternoon, went through my services and stuff with him, signed him on as a client, and 1,000 clients later, here I am.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
So that's
Wow.
how it all got started.
And so you were still when you got that client, you were still working.
Right.
So what was the time like from that to
Yeah.
when
Okay.
you go full time?
Yeah. Great question. So, yeah, I was still working full time at the time that I had that one client. Now, mind you, the position that I had, like I said, I came from I was a project manager for in supply chain and logistics, which I loved that job, by the way. If I could have, I probably would have still been there today.
Yeah.
I probably would have, because it was. I mean, for me, it was ideal, and I love what I did. However, as my business, started picking up, I started picking up more and more clients. But at the same time, the company that I worked for was having some issues. So I know that there was a possibility that I could get laid off.
Right.
So, but then I was prepared, for that moment because my business had started growing and picking up more and more clients.
Yeah.
And so I said, hey, if I end up, and I was, like I said, I was really prepared for that. I said, hey, if they come around, with the severance package or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm out, you
Yeah.
know. And so eventually that did happen. Came by, and the position that I had was dissolved, so they gave me a severance, and and I said, okay, I'm not ever working for anybody else again. This is it for me.
Wow.
So when that happened, I took the severance. The first thing I did was went and bought a laptop.
Yeah.
And just started doing my business full time. I mean, at that time, it was, I may have had about 15 active clients. So
Wow.
yeah, so not many at all. But that's when we talking about when you sometimes you leap out on faith, and that was one example that that I went all in. And it was some, it was some scary times. It's not like I just jumped out and had, all of these, people waiting for me to sign up, patronize for my business.
Yeah.
So I had to methodically,
Yeah.
build up. And I really had to, one of the things that really, that I had to learn how to do was network.
I wanted to get there too, because I feel like you're the best networker
Exactly, man.
that I've
Look,
met.
and that's the thing. It's that, and that was by necessity. I really had to learn how to network because, the job that I had prior, man, I was, basically working in a warehouse with seeing the same people every day.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the networking wasn't. I knew about like relationships and in the workplace and stuff, but as far as networking strategically, bro, I had no idea.
Wow.
Yeah, I had no idea, but I just went out there and just really, I guess that's when the magic starts happening, right?
Yeah.
Because,
Yep.
the thing about being an entrepreneur, there's a lot of people out there that can relate. And a lot of, entrepreneurs like to see other entrepreneurs win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, as I was out there was other people that would, help and support me and really just kind of, really just kind of, lend a helping hand and, good examples. And I would get invited to different functions and things like that. And I just really learned how to, network, just really kind of strategically and with a purpose.
Yeah.
And that's really how I built my business, is really just just kind of building up that networking muscle and just networking like crazy.
I feel like when you have a product or service that like truly meets the need of an individual or needs of an individual, it's easy to I'm not gonna say it's easy to market that or network that, but it makes that networking,
Right.
more easy to do because there's a value. That value.
For
like,
sure.
You have it. Like
Right.
It's just like, listen, what I have is valuable.
Exactly.
You know, all I need is an opportunity to talk about it.
For sure.
And
yeah.
you're gonna be hitched onto it. So there are some things that you were a part of too. Was it boards or committees that you were a part of?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's committees that I'm, currently a part of, and I've been a part of. The various chambers, like the African American Chamber of Commerce, they're really great. That group down there, and also I was a member of for years with the Veterans Association of Real Estate Professionals. I'm a member of the Orlando Regional Realtors Association, probably the only credit repair company that's an active member.
Wow.
Seminole County Chamber of Commerce, I'm the only credit repair company that's an active member of that. So,
wow.
I and that's the thing too. And credit repair has a bit of a negative, stigma
Yep.
for a lot of people. There's a lot of people who had bad experiences with credit repair companies.
Yep.
So, you don't see a lot of credit repair companies that are a part of these professional networking associations, probably because of that, right? Because a lot of people can't get beyond, the stigma.
Mm-hmm.
But for myself, I'm out front with it. This is what I do. This is why I do it. And I have the credentials and and the support from my past clientele to show that that I'm legitimate. You know what I mean? So I mean, anybody can go to my Google reviews and see I have over 80 5-star Google reviews.
Dang.
Right? Which is definitely, and that is which is a testament in itself.
Yeah.
For a industry that is really wrought with a lot of negative stigma.
Yeah.
You can go and look on my Google reviews, and and like I said, the majority of them are 5-star reviews.
That's big.
Yeah.
That's real big.
Absolutely. It's big. Not only, it's not as big not only in the way of my clients being satisfied and pleased with how I've been able to help them, but to go out of their way, right?
Yeah.
And support my company.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't get more legit than that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because everybody who's working with a credit repair company, they want to know, how legitimate are you?
Mm-hmm.
Can I trust you?
Mm-hmm.
Show me some, results.
Yeah.
Show me some examples. Well, there you go.
Go here.
Right.
Check that out.
Yeah, exactly.
I wanted to talk about this real quick too, because we talked about the negative stigma within the credit. And I think that the reason why that, I don't know, so correct me if I'm wrong, but for you, you were talking about how tough it was to even, get this information, because it has to come from so many places. And I think that's probably the reason why the people that are even in the industry,
right,
there's a lot that they miss too.
Absolutely.
So they really can't patch your boat up as well as you would like it to be patched up.
Right.
And I think a lot of false expectations get bought up there.
Yeah, absolutely right.
What do you think about when people say, "Oh, consolidate your credit"? Because I hear mixed things about consolidating your credit. Oh, we can lower your credit score, consolidating your credit. They say it's a good thing, and some people say it's a bad thing.
Right.
Because what it does is take your interest
right.
a little higher. So just what do you?
Well, there's a difference between credit repair and debt consolidation.
Debt consolidation.
Those are two whole different industries, right?
Right.
I'm not a big believer in debt consolidation.
Okay.
And the reason being is because what happens is that with debt consolidation is that these companies go and they negotiate on someone's behalf to the creditors, right? After someone has gotten over the head in credit card debt or in debt. But what has to happen is that you actually have to go into collections in order for them, for that to take. So they advise you to go into collections. Well, when you go into collections, you pretty much traumatize your credit scores. So, and then once you go into collections, what they do, they then go negotiate a payment plan or a payoff to the creditors.
Okay.
Which you don't need to pay anybody to do that. You can do that, you can pretty much do that yourself.
Wow.
And so what happens, but after you do the payment arrangements, once you get through that, your credit is still jacked up. So.
But you were paying on it.
Yeah, but you were paying on it after it's gone into collection.
Oh, so going into collections
Right.
is what
So they
gets
tell you, hey, let it go into collection. Don't pay, because the creditors, they are not going to negotiate with you until it's in collection. Right. Okay. So they go in, then these companies will come in after it's gone into collections, negotiate a payoff and stuff on your behalf, which, I mean, I guess it's good to have a professional negotiating on your behalf.
Right.
But what happens after that part of it? Now your credit, is jacked up, is traumatized. You got all these the collection history on there, and your credit score is shot. What can you do? So now with credit repair, what I do is, I try and catch them before it gets to that point, right? So if someone has some, derogatory stuff on their credit that's hurting their credit score, then I specialize in getting that stuff removed from the credit reports without them having to pay. So my goal really is to try to get as much cleaned up on the credit, without, and then putting a plan together to help them get out of that situation and improve their credit score. Well, how you do that is once you get the negative stuff cleaned off your credit report, then you can possibly, if debt consolidation is an option, then maybe you can go and get go to your lender or your bank or credit union or whatever and get a consolidation loan or a credit card big enough to consolidate all your other debt. And now you only have one payment that is usually going to be less than all of the multiple payments that you're making.
Wow.
You see how that works?
That just made sense for me.
Right. But one other thing too about these debt consolidation companies, that reports on your credit report. When you're working with a debt consolidation company, it actually reports on your credit report. Right?
Really?
Yeah. So that impacts your credit report. It's viewed almost like you're in bankruptcy. That's how big traumatic it is on your credit report, on your credit scores, because that stuff actually reports. And then, when lenders see that, it's almost like a red flag. So, so even after you've gone through that, if they look back and see that you have worked with a debt consolidator, debt consolidation company, then you'll be hard pressed, to get any type of financing, once they see that type of stuff. So, that's the difference. Yeah. So I told you I love educating.
And that's the difference with you, because like you just seem like real patient. You seem like a real patient.
Right. Yeah, I am. Because I've been there.
Dude.
I've been there. I've been there, and I understand the trauma, and that's the thing, man. That and the pain and the embarrassment and the uncertainties that people go through when they're dealing with bad credit, because it's always staring you in the face, right? It's always staring you in the face, man. So I take that stuff to heart when I'm working with my clients. I sit down and I have that conversation with them. And my first step is always to educate, explain. This is what you're up against. This is how the credit bureaus operate. This is what we're gonna do. To get you out of this situation. This is the steps that we're gonna take. And if you stick with the plan, and if you stay engaged in the process, we're gonna have success.
Which is big.
Right, absolutely.
Especially being a brother going through this.
Absolutely. Right.
Anytime I see like a brother in like finance or in money,
for sure.
I just feel it makes me feel it gives me some confidence. I'm just like, man, we represent it. But you said something earlier. It was like other entrepreneurs like to see other entrepreneurs win.
For sure.
And I was gonna say this. I believe it's like that for me because it's just like, man, they winning over there. Dang, I'm about to get some
Right,
too.
exactly.
I'm gonna win too.
Yeah,
There's no
exactly.
competition.
No, yeah, for
between
sure.
real entrepreneurs and real business owners.
Right.
That's how you know a real one when you see one, because it's
Exactly.
like they're not gonna hate on your success.
No.
They're gonna be like, go get it.
Yeah, get
because
it.
you showing me
Exactly.
I'm on my way
we can
too.
win. Right. You showing me
Yeah.
that there's room.
That there's
right?
room.
You showing me there's room. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
man. I mean, absolutely.
I like that.
I love seeing other small businesses winning, because I mean, the business world, I think like the economy is getting flipped over on its head, right? Well, and this is the thing too. The American economy, or should I say, the America is really built for the entrepreneur.
It is.
The schools and the education, when you think about it, the educational system, they prepare you to be employees. However, when in the real world, everything is really favored towards entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I think that's by design too, because the corporations, I'm sure they would much rather see the establishment would much rather see a continuous wave of employees being produced versus entrepreneurs.
Yep.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So the educational system is kind of structured that way. That you go to school, you get good grades, you come out, you get a good job, and you work for.
You work for them.
Right. Exactly.
Don't compete with them.
Right. Exactly. Right. They don't want. Yeah. They're not trying to produce competitors. They're trying to produce employees. But at the end of the day, it's really structured for the entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And I think people are really starting to realize that.
Yep.
And more people are thinking more, independently, and really, becoming entrepreneurs. And there's room out there for every entrepreneur that that we can get.
I think. So what do you think because the lockdown is really hurting a lot of small businesses right now?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's unfortunate, but tell that to somebody, one of the 300,000 that's died from this stuff, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, they much rather would have been, locked down for a while if it, if it meant that, they have a couple more days on this earth.
Yeah.
So for me, if we have to lock down, so be it.
Yeah.
If we have to lock down for the benefit of, getting, rid of this pandemic or whatever the case may be. I mean, other countries have done it and been successful at it. Mm-hmm. So, you know what I mean? So, so it works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's, I think I've been fortunate that I'm still able to remain in business, you know what I mean? Yeah. And function, but, there's a lot of people who have been wiped out.
Yep.
There's a lot of industries that's been wiped out, and it's I don't know, man. It's a paradox almost, right? Because I think some companies, businesses have thrived from this, and some have been completely wiped out.
Yeah.
So. Go figure. Yeah.
The companies that thrive on people congregating in their location.
Right. Yeah.
They get hit the hardest.
Yeah, they do. You know, and some companies have, and that's the thing about being in business. Sometimes you got to pivot, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Because you got some companies that adapted.
Mm-hmm.
There's some companies that were prepared for lean times or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so, and those are the ones that are still around.
Yep.
So, I'm sure this will be a learning experience for, for everybody. Mm-hmm. Really. So.
People leaned into technology more now than
Exactly.
Because
Right.
technology used to, like, people used to be so eerie of it.
Right. Yeah.
And it depends on how you use it. Me, I don't have a problem with technology. Like,
Right,
it's
yeah.
extremely beneficial, especially for what I do.
Right. Exactly.
But
No,
I think you
yeah.
just got to learn how to manage the technology.
There you go. Exactly. You got to.
Yeah.
You have to be able to manage it, and you have to. You know, you have to kind of stay abreast on what's out there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
For sure.
I mean, technology is a good thing.
So we're in the incubator. I appreciate you for letting us come in here.
Yeah, no problem,
film
man.
the
Thanks for coming
episode.
through.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
So just talk a little bit about where we're at in this space and what it, because this is actually pretty dope.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Absolutely, man. I think this is another reason that you know, that I've been able to grow my company is being a part of this incubator. So where we are, this is the University of Central Florida Business Incubator, the Winter Springs location. There's about 7 different UCF Business Incubators across Central Florida. And these incubators, they house small businesses such as mine, and they offer us resources and exposure that we would probably outside of here have to pay a lot of money for, or it would be very difficult for us to find. And they also, my office is in this business suite, so they offer us, you know, a place, you know, with office space as well.
Yeah.
And I think what I've benefited the most being here is really being exposed to other, you know, small businesses and people that are on the same journey that I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of times just the synergy of being around people who are on the same path and being able to exchange, you know, resources and experiences and things like that has really kind of helped me kind of grow and really kept me. It's almost like having, you know, advisors and, you know, people on your team that really kind of can, you know, give you input to help you grow, things like that. So that really forced me to take a very intimate look inside of my business and to really develop my vision, right?
Wow.
And to be able to, you know, to be able to express it and show it and then, you know, present it. So that was a really good, you know, learning process for me.
Yeah.
And fortunately, they liked what I presented. And then they actually, you know, then at the end of it, and I graduated through the program and they invited me to, you know, come and be a resident here.
Wow.
So that's been really good.
So you had a whole process to go through.
Yeah, I did, and that, man, like I said, it really benefited from it because I mean, I had to do, you know, from business plans to P&Ls, projections, and marketing plans, you know, and things of that nature, and really be able to kind of express what benefits that I bring to the community.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, and I think I was able to really, after I, you know, was able to go and kind of refine my vision, then when I presented, they saw what I saw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's probably almost 3 years ago. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like hearing about what you just got through talking about. Like you had to go look in and like plan this out and, you know, these different strategies and things, but all of those things are what are necessary to any business trying to grow. Like everyone needs to do that. I even have to do that.
For sure.
Like, even in the industry that I'm in, because I think a lot of times as we use the term creative now, like we're using that term. That term is just like trendy, being a creative or being a creator.
Okay.
Those are words that people are using a lot now, and that's great. You could be a creative or a creator, but I was gonna do this video on, you know, like the creation, what it is that we create. That's like a small part of
Right.
the process.
Absolutely.
It's
Right.
an important part. Yes,
sure.
great.
Yeah.
Create your thing. But on the back end, that's where the real work comes in.
No doubt.
You know,
for
because
sure.
it's easy to get in front of this camera and do this.
Right.
But when this camera goes off,
Exactly.
that's when the work
That's
truly
when
has
work
to
really
start.
begins, right?
Yeah,
No, right.
because you
That's it.
want to get it to grow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing about, being in business and being an entrepreneur. It's not enough to be talented in what you do. You really have to learn business. Right? You really have to learn and understand
Yeah,
business.
yeah,
And if you're a, solopreneur like we are,
yeah.
you have to understand all facets of a business,
Right.
right? From the marketing to the operational day-to-day stuff,
Yeah,
brand building, finances,
yeah,
just, taxes and all of that type of stuff. I mean, and and a lot of that stuff, a lot of it, I outsource.
yeah,
However, I had to, before I outsource it, I had to understand it so I can in turn manage it, right? Because, nobody, you have to understand, because nobody's going to treat your business the way you do.
yeah.
So you have to intimately understand every facet of your business.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah,
That's why that grind work is so important.
for sure.
Like you have to do it, because me and my wife were talking, because we're doing this together. We were talking about it, and I was just like, yeah, it's good that, in the stuff that she does, I did a lot of that,
Right.
before she got on.
Right.
Thank God she's here. I
For
needed
sure.
the help. But, you still had to do it.
Right.
And you're able to outsource it now, but at one point, you
Right.
had to do it.
Exactly.
No
yeah.
matter what size the business was
Right.
when it was,
Right.
it's still the same equation.
Exactly.
It's just now it's a larger result, but you still had to learn it.
Yeah, you have to learn it. You have to understand it.
Yeah,
And then you have to be able to manage it, right?
Yep.
Because, you may not do it every day before,
yep,
but, if you had to, you could,
yep,
but you understand,
yeah,
what's happening, what's going on,
yeah,
and you know what things to look for,
yeah.
So.
I wanted to, because you are a man of faith, so I did want to talk about a faith thing real quick.
Okay.
Even what we were just talking about, because sometimes I think as believers we can sometimes get so caught up on God doing stuff, and God blessing this and blessing my business and doing all of that, which is true.
For sure, right.
But what you just explained about you going through the incubator process, you have faith, but you had to do a lot of work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You literally had to go plan this out. You had to research these things to present to these people.
Exactly.
Yes, you can pray and do all of that, but unless you did that,
Right.
they weren't going to say, oh, well, you prayed, you got it. They would have
Right.
been like, no, that's not going to work. And you wouldn't
Absolutely.
have gotten in there. So I guess just talk a little bit about having faith, but there's the things that we have to do.
Yeah, for sure. I think, I am a man of faith, and definitely, with my relationship with God, I think a lot of it, I give a lot of credit, a lot of credence to that.
Yeah.
But where my faith comes in at, really, is just, waking me up every day.
Right.
And giving me the right mind and the faculties to go and really expound upon the things that I've already been blessed with.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think that's the extent of it. Whether I succeed or fail, that's on me, right? Because He's already given me the tools,
Right.
to, to be successful.
Yeah.
And the rest is really, is up like the scripture says, faith without works is dead.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So, you can have all the faith in the world. If you sit back and folding your arms and looking for miracles,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That might not happen. So,
Yeah.
you know, so as long as I got the, you know, the strength and the health and the state of mind to really, you know, to go out and to function,
Yeah.
then I got to work.
Yeah.
You know, I got to go to work. You
Yeah.
know, yeah. And anything less than that is wasted, the wasted gift.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. I think, yeah, of course. I think you know, faith has a big place.
Yeah.
Yeah, in our success in everyday life.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, you know, I live in reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
and I don't take any of it for granted. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you gotta put the work in.
Yeah. That's
You have
big.
to.
I was talking today, I was on the phone with one of my friends, and I was telling him, I was like, you know, and he's the businessman too, he's an entrepreneur too, and I was just like, man, you know, faith is great, like it's good to have it, you know, and we believe in, and for me, you know, yeah, you accept Jesus into your heart, and then you know, we have hope in eternity, but at the same time, with that now, like we got to work now.
Oh yeah, for
You know,
sure.
he's giving us tools,
exactly.
powers, like you were saying.
Yeah.
All of that. As long as I'm waking up and I have the strength and energy to do it.
Exactly.
It's not to say that God can't do it or work in that. Like, but we're here. We're in time. We abide by the laws of time.
Right.
Anything outside of that, that's a miracle. God comes and He works.
Exactly.
But He hasn't done it. You know,
Right.
He's not carrying this thing for me. Like he's not living my life for me. He's not living the life for anyone.
Right. Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
at that point, like you said, He gave us this. Now, what you
right.
gonna do with
What
it?
are you gonna do with it? Exactly.
And we can't look at Him and blame God.
And who are you gonna help?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who you gonna help? I mean,
Yeah.
you got to help somebody else along the way, and you know, you have to be, you know, you have to let your light shine, right?
Yeah.
You know, just like you said. I mean, I'm inspired by you. You may be inspired by me,
Right.
and that's how we kind of help each other.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, when you see other people that are doing things the right way and being successful at it as an entrepreneur, then that gives you, you know, motivation and inspiration, right?
Yep.
And I think that's our, you know, that's our responsibility as men of faith, is to, you know, go and, you know, live your life to where you are a, you know, example for other people.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So you can talk all day, but you know, what do your actions say?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, what do your actions say? And
Yeah.
that's you know, and that's, you know, be a Christian, whatever the case may be. It's like what are your actions telling you? I think you draw more people from your actions than you know, with your words.
Yep.
So
They look at what you do, and
For
people know fake when they see it. It don't take long to figure it
No,
out. If you've been living past 28, 29,
right, exactly. You know,
you might not know what it is in you. You might not know what it's saying to you,
Right.
but you know fake when you
but
see
you know, right, you know, in your heart when something's not
something
it's not authentic.
Yeah.
Right, you know. So
Yeah, you can call it.
yeah.
I appreciate you sitting down here and talking to me.
Yeah, well, it's always good. I mean, I think, it's always good to talk to you. I appreciate the opportunity and the invitation.
Yeah.
And again, I appreciate, you know, you reaching out to me when we met some months
That
back.
was
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I
Across the
appreciate
street
you.
from the
I
from the
appreciate
protest,
you.
or from the
Yeah,
rally.
exactly. I appreciate you coming up to me, man.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm always looking for like dope people to have on the show for conversation, whether it's online or, you know, in person. And I saw your truck wrapped.
I had my wrap,
Yeah.
I think I just got it too. I just got it wrapped recently.
Yeah?
When I saw exactly.
I saw that. That's what literally. That's why I turned into the 7-Eleven.
Right.
Because
okay.
I saw it. And I was like, damn, I'm gonna talk to him first.
Yeah.
And then I saw it was you, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna holler at him. So I was just like, hey, what's going on? You know, this is what I do. And you was like, okay, yeah. Right. So I thought that was dope, man.
Yeah. No, man. I appreciate it.
That was dope.
Like I said, I appreciate it. And like I said, anytime I can, you know, get in front of someone and tell my story.
Yeah.
I always welcome that opportunity.
Yep.
Right. Because. You know, like I said, I mean, you know, maybe it'll inspire someone and maybe they can relate to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just another opportunity for me to kind of get in front of, you know, some people who may just take something from it. So
encourage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
Let the people know where they can get in touch with you, because I'm pretty sure y'all need some credit repair.
For sure. Absolutely. So so it's Credit Repair Florida. I'm a credit repair company located here in Central Florida. I specialize in helping individuals improve their personal credit and reaching their financial goals. You can find me at creditrepairflorida.com, which is my website. My email address is creditrepairflorida@gmail.com, or you can always call me at 407-734-FICO. That's 407-734-3426 on your dial pad. And been able to help thousands of people in the Central Florida area improve their credit, reach their financial goals, purchase homes, purchase automobiles, just basically improve your personal credit profile, start, enhance, expand your businesses, get better jobs, military clearances, so much stuff nowadays, depends on your credit. Automobile insurance, utilities and things of that nature. So reach out to me. The consultation is free, and we put a customized plan together for each individual client. A credit report is like a fingerprint, right? Everybody's credit has a different profile.
Yeah.
So what may work for someone, may you need a different approach for someone else.
Yeah, appreciate it. So thank you guys so much for watching the sit down. Like this video, give us a thumbs up, comment your thoughts down below, subscribe, because I don't even like saying that because I know y'all subscribers, you're not watching my stuff and you're not subscribing. So do that. Thank y'all so much for watching. Shop the sit down to help us out, and we'll see you guys next time. Deuces.
Indeed.
Appreciate it.